Hi guys, welcome to the second video in the series of my essential golf skills. Today I'm going to be looking at the knockdown shot or the punch shot. How do we go about hitting that shot? Some of the technical aspects of that shot we're looking to do in order to achieve that the desired flight, for us to be able to cheat that wind that we're so often getting at this time of year in Stanton. Hope you enjoy. The knockdown shot, what is the knockdown shot? Well, how I describe that is sometimes referred to as the punch shot. This shot is an essential skill in golf, especially if you're playing links golf. This is a shot that's going to produce a slightly lower ball flight. And the idea of the shot is to control the backspin on the golf ball in order for us to not balloon that ball up into the wind, so we can cheat that wind a little bit and hit it the desired distance that we need to. The first thing is what I generally see players doing, where they fall short with this one. So I've got set us up with a 20-mile-an-hour northern wind, very similar to the one that we've been seeing recently. I'm going to hit an 8-iron shot into this green. I've got a 150, which is my normal yardage from my 8-iron. So I'm going to go ahead and go through exactly what I see golfers do with this shot and where they get it wrong. So first thing I see, golfers will tend to use the club that they would normally use for that yardage. They would then start to play the ball back in the stance too much this way, and then they try and hit the ball extremely hard for this shot with a normal swing. Now, the harder we hit a golf shot, we strike that one solid, and the further we put that back in the stance, we're going to start to get a more descending angle of attack. And if we deliver anywhere near the amount of dynamic loft that we would do for a normal shot, this is actually going to encourage the ball, this is going to make the ball spin higher up into the wind. Also, playing the ball back in the stance as well. Something that I struggled with when I was growing up was trying to hit this shot was actually a lot of draw shape on it. So playing the ball further back in the stance can promote us to actually overcurve the ball to the left. So if we hit this shot here, I'd see a lot of players do it. The ball's going to go middle to back in my stance, and I'm going to try and hit this one pretty hard, and we'll see how this comes out. So middle to back in my stance, I'm going to hit this one. I have to hit this pretty hard for this to get there with my 8-iron. Okay, now as you can see, that ball is over curve left and it's gone 130 yards. So it's become way short. Okay, so that ball is spun up into the wind. So my quad on here actually says that traveled 154. So you can see that's 20 yards worth of difference because I've hit that too hard. So let me go and explain what I would do further to control the ball flight of that. So the club that I've actually chosen here is a 6-iron for this one. So if we think that that's 20 yards short for my last shot, I'm going to club up a couple for this one. And I'm going to do some things differently in my stance. I'm actually going to play this ball position. I'm not going to try and deal off this too much. Okay, I'm actually going to play this very, very standard. But I'm going to do some things in my swing which are going to change this a little bit. Okay. So the address position is actually going to be very, very similar to my full shot. So that would be looking somewhere pretty much as we are here. So if I'm setting up for this, my ball position is going to be 2 to 3 balls back from my left shoulder, which is going to encourage me that low point after the golf ball, encourage a slightly descending angle of attack. To produce the right amount of dynamic loft here, so we're launching this ball nicely. So the difference with this one, what I'm actually going to do is how I release the golf club. So on a full shot, I may take a fuller backswing if I'm hitting it harder. As I come through, I'm going to rehinge my wrist as I get to the top this way, as all golfers do. Now this one here, to control the dynamic loft, so maybe produce a bit less, to control the speed of the shot so I'm not hitting it as hard, I'm actually going to try and finish with a finish position here, where I'm going to finish with the club out in front of me and almost not let the club overtake. I would refer to this release as a long arc. Okay, so how I describe the arc is actually where the butt of the club and the club head are. So a shorter arc follow through would be, if I wanted to hit the ball high, I would actually start rehinging the most. So if you imagine a flop shot, I would get this thing hinging as quickly as possible, the butt of the club very, very close to me and the club way past my hands here. It's going to give me the most amount of dynamic loft. This one, I'm going to keep it very much my arms straight, and as I come through, the feeling is it's not going to pass my hands this way. So you can see here that the dynamic loft is staying very stable on this one here. Now the great thing is with this, it's going to control the speed of my swing a little easier. So I might even think here that I'm going to swing a little shorter going back and then coming through this way. That's going to control the speed. What it means is that my ball position doesn't have to go any further back. Now the good thing with this is my ball position is not going any further back. It's not going to encourage too much curve to the left or a ball that's starting right. So my shot should come out straighter with less curvature, with less tilt to the ball spin axis. So if you imagine a ball spinning around an axis this way, the plane's wings, if I have my face close to path, okay, which would be how I would create this hook, my ball is going to be spinning around these plane's wings this way, and it's going to want to curve just like that last shot did. That's finished 30 yards offline, trying to jam that ball into the wind. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you now. So standard ball position, and my feel this way is going to be pretty much shoulder to shoulder with no release on the way through, keeping the arm straight and the club out in front of me this way. Let's give that a go and see how that happens. So standard ball position, and this time I'm going to feel that my release is a lot less. I'm going to point the club out shoulder to shoulder golf, so I'm going to point this club out at the target in my finish. Okay, as we can see here, much better effort at that one. So just coming up onto the front of the green, that ball's traveled 140 yards. And the distance on my quad there was 153. So that was a 6-iron, more controlled swing. That ball has gone 1 yard less than my 8-iron. So to recap that, knockdown shots into the wind, standard ball position for me. Take 2 or 3 clubs extra. I want you to feel like you take a swing that's kind of 10 till 2 with no release on the way through, keeping the club much more out in front of you this way. And that's going to get the job done nicely for those knockdown shots into the wind. Really hope you enjoyed the video. See you all soon.
Here's some of the data that I hit from the 2 shots in the studio. The top one being the 8-iron and the bottom being the 6. Notice the launch angle, very similar. The backspin quite different. The 8-iron spinning much more, so it's ballooning up into the wind. And both shots with a very similar peak height. Notice how similar the carry distances were, because of the 6-iron that I hit, the less spin, was able to punch into the wind much better and get the job done that I needed it to do.